Greetings to you all. This is the third month of the autumn season in the Northern Hemisphere. This is the 6-girl month. This is only the second week of the 6-girl month, and I'm having some interesting experiences that I'd just like to share with you the significance of this month. Just today, we had the very first snowflakes to fall from the sky. This is an amazing opportunity to feel the significance for me, to go outside and put my face up to receive the snowflakes on my face. The face is a 6, the head a 6, the neck a 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and on down. So snow that touches the face and the skin, it's really associated with the 6. And this time of the year is associated with the darkest month in the Northern Hemisphere. In some traditions, it's called the Festival of Lights based on the lunar calendar. This is also the 6th month from the summer solstice, meaning since June 21st in the Northern Hemisphere, we've been on a 6-month journey of the women of the family tree. 1 girl, father's mother. That was the first family-oriented month in July. And then July to August, 3 girl, the community-based phenomenon of vibrant green food, socialization, outdoor activities. And then August into September, the 5-girl month, father's mother's mother, and she corresponded to the unity of all things, wholeness, animal kingdom, and the last month of the summer season as it merged in September into the 2-girl beginning of the year. Now that 2-girl beginning just continued a sequence of 3 more grandmothers from the mother's side of the family. 2-girl, mother's mother. 4-girl, mother's mother's mother. And then the 3rd month, the last of 6 women in a row, happens to be the 6-girl, which is mother's father's mother. Now, each one of these areas has a gland, an organ, a body system, a flower, a color, a fragrance, and you name it, all the other vibrational components. Each individual month has its list of attributes and also skill sets. These skill sets are mostly voluntary, meaning they only open when you have the clear intention to acknowledge their existence and open them. The 6-girl one corresponds to the pineal and also corresponds to the skin and also is the primary regulator of the sleep cycle, the circadian rhythm. So the autumn season, 2-girl, 4-girl, 6-girl, is the season. It culminates in 6-girl. It operates as a unit. This is the same unit as sunset, 6 p.m., and then sleep at 8 p.m., that opens the heart as we leave the material existence, go into the void of leaving the material plane or the mind, and we enter into the six-girl realm. The six-girl realm is the spiritual realm, or in the nighttime it represents the stars. We see the farthest at night. We see no stars at sunset generally, but we see the stars as we get darker into the night, and we have to pass through the void, the change, the fear of death, leaving, and transition, the metamorphosis that leads into the six-girl month. Now, this is a sacred opportunity. In the Northern Hemisphere, I urge you to take advantage of this and feel it. My suggestion is to feel it two places. Obviously, feel its link down to the heart, but its primary gland is the pineal. You might just think of the pineal as about the size of your little fingernail on your little finger, and the pineal is outside the brain-blood barrier. So technically, it's not really in the brain. It sits right on top of where the highest blood flow goes, eventually to wash through the brain-blood barrier, and it exists in a specific location, and there are a profound number of inner mysteries about this location. It is obviously regulating the experience of melatonin and serotonin. I won't go into all of the nuances of melatonin, serotonin, DMT, mushrooms, ayahuasca, peyote, and all of its influences to influence the upper functions of the brain to produce the inner imagery. Yes, this is the same access to inner imagery in some cases that we begin to see part of in sleep through dreams. But the higher function of the sixth girl is not about dreams. It's about seeing. I mean, literally, it's almost like a periscope that when you occupy it, you can move upward in your own inner vision and see more than you might believe you can see. There's also some series of interesting things that can occur in this location, and they've occurred to me. I've described it before, but I'm going to describe it again. Is I spent months trying to polish my own pineal with a violin bow. I mean, I didn't literally use a violin bow, but I used music of a violin, and I would polish my pineal with the bow, and I would go inside and go through the pineal. Then I would use my inner tactile sense of it, enter the pineal, and for months did things with the pineal, many more than I can explain in the moment. Then one night when I was working on it and I laid down afterwards, there came a tiny, tiny little spot of light on the upper part of my pineal that I could sense and see, and then it gradually started to open. The problem was when it started to open, it felt like a tiny amount of dry ice, very cold ice in the middle of my brain. No bigger than a pinpoint. But that pinpoint stimulated a flow of a taste of honey 1,000 times or 10,000 times sweeter than the sweetest honey that you can imagine. But with that honey and with that light, there also came an agonizing experience of pristine bliss. Now, I know that sounds exciting, that there is such a thing as pristine bliss, but there's also something described as the unbearable bliss. I have to tell you, it was unbearable, meaning the agonizing experience of it was extremely tactile, as this piece of dry ice went through my brain and the light just kept expanding into a sweet ecstasy. No drugs involved. The best experiences are without biochemical additives. So for me, that experience went on for 4 hours. After the first 10 minutes, I was begging it to stop. It didn't stop. Now, I've not repeated that experience since, but I know it is there. I know it's accessible. I don't want to go there again, not yet, until the rest of my ability to process it from the brain into the rest of my body is more prepared and lubricated, if you will, with feelings. 6 Girl Month is a great time to feel it. So let me show you some other images that might give you another way of perceiving it. It has a lot to do with the pristine experience of the silence of snow falling. It also has light. It also has something that looks a bit like this because it comes from above and it comes down like snowflakes do. The experience of this is actually like a gentle cascade of snowflakes, but stars. 6 Girl opens the envelope of our upper capacity to experience higher consciousness. Now, what I mean by this is all of us are endowed with 6. As you know, that 6 is 6 boy and 6 girl, 5 boy and 5 girl, 4 and 4, and so on. So there's 12, but there's like a ladder. It goes to 6. We are endowed with that. But above 6, there's 7 and 8 and many, many more. But the capacity that we have naturally is 6. What we have is the opportunity to perceive what the function is and then to ask 8 to help us, because it's not intended for us to be able to do everything alone. But we need to start out by, in some cases, well, doing it alone. Let me show you what I mean. Here is an example on this side. This is the same figure 8 that is the seasons and the cycle of the earth that goes through time. This is where my hand is, sunset, 6, middle of the night void, 8 o'clock, 10 to 12. At 12 o'clock is the ascending cycle of 1 boy, 3 boy, 5 boy, which is the 3 months of winter. It crosses at the equinox to go into the spring equinox. And then it goes 2 boy, 4 boy, 6 boy, and descends 1 girl, 3 girl, 5 girl, when it again arrives at the autumn equinox to complete that cycle. Now, inside this cycle, there are other cycles. These cycles have to do with three: self, others, and all. That's it. Self, others, and all. In the bottom half of this is the feminine side of the family tree. This is also the nighttime. That's self, others, and all. I won't go into describing in great detail what this means, but that means 2 girl, 4 girl, 6 girl, or my personal self-image, my relationship to others, and my relationship to the all. Now, the fun part about this is that 6 girl looks more like this. Here you are. The black background corresponds to nighttime and the last month of winter. So the feeling of this is when the dark of the night occurs, it is the optimum opportunity to experience that pineal, the silence. But it's also the exact time where we actually need help from above. The first step, the 2 girl month, I have to do it alone. Not an easy thing for most people to think that you have to accept. Eventually you will, 100% responsibility for the progress or evolution of your own soul. Wow, that means 100% responsibility for your individual law of attraction. Self. Then the middle sequence has to do with giving and receiving at 3 and 4, solar plexus, heart region, how we give and receive with others. Shooey, not an easy place, because that's about justice and morality. Oftentimes that can be cruelty and jealousy and all kinds of things, sibling rivalry. I won't even go to all of the actual experiences, but in that same location, the only way to go through this one is with someone else. No, I'm not specifically relating that to your soulmate or just with somebody else alone. I'm saying the experience of developing friendship, alliances, people you can communicate with and share with on a community level, is giving and receiving resources, touch and service to others, teaching, communication, massage therapy, nutrition, law, justice, whatever you want to do. This is the giving and receiving element at 4. But the very cool part about being able to do the 4 better is that with each person that you can, even in a small way, begin to treat like a friend, the inclusion of another person doing the same thing with intention with you increases the magnitude of the flow available, and that's called fraternal love. That is a love that you choose to give to someone else and to also receive it. I would like to be able to do that, but I'm pretty clear with you, no, I can't. I know myself well enough to realize that in order to receive or to give, I have to measure the clarity and intention and the reason why, or I have to look at the reason why I escape, deny self, excuse, minimize, justify, go off somewhere. That in order to be able to give and receive, I can no longer be in facade. I can do minute amounts of it. But now the one from above is I can't do it by force of will or practice. I can't go there alone. I can't even go there and assault that boundary with a group. Even though a group can help you in your degree of love all the way up to 6. But to open the gate at the top means I need divine love from above. The only thing to transform my consciousness is going to be the infusion gradually, maybe faster for some of you, to receive divine love. Now, the opening opportunity for us to prepare ourselves to receive that is the 6 girl time of the day, 10 p.m. and on, and the 6 girl month of the year, the month of the pineal, the festival of lights, the emergence of something. Because at the very apex of the 6 girl month is the 3 days before the return of light, which means the solstice in the northern hemisphere is the time when the day length starts to increase again. That 3-day time period, either before, during, and after, is what's called the one boy time. The very intriguing thing about the 6 girl experience in the pineal is it triggers the bottom, meaning the highest experience of the pineal function opens up a gate at the very bottom of the spine. Now, I'm urging you to consider that the opening of that gate at the bottom of the spine ideally is done with pristine innocence. Now, I've gone there before, and I don't recommend you do it until you really feel like you're prepared and want to do it, because it has the capacity to open the central nervous system. Now, ideally, you would like to have the equilibration of all of these gates in operation simultaneously in order for it to flow. But remember, this is the 6 girl background. This is why it's dark. Let me show you a different one. It may look a bit more like this. Now, in this one, you have night and day, or you have winter and summer, however you want to see it. And that each one of these bands that you see, it goes out and returns. Every time it makes this journey, it brings back to you an increase of the law of attraction for what it is you need to feel in order to keep expanding the grid work. This is the best visual representation I can show you of the benefits of being able to be involved in this process. First month, 2 girl. The second month, 4 girl. The third month, 6 girl. That skill set of 3 months is an instrument that makes all of this work. Now, I know that's a lot of information, but boy, there's a lot more coming, because for me, this is the first season. As you know, there are 4, but we're planning on doing this for 36 months. This is only the 3rd month. Phew. I'm just reporting in, and I intend to keep reporting in on this journey with some explanation of where things are and how it works. Talk to you again.